That's not
Great.
that's not a universal emotion, though.
I don't get it. And then I love the photo.
Yeah.
Although you need a newer one.
I'm going to put Brad Pitt on. Okay, let me start up. And I've got a mea culpa, which is Latin for the director screwed up. I think is that what that's Latin for, oh director?
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah. Anyway, one of us screwed up, either the director or me, insofar as we forgot that I've got a guest lecturer coming in this second period. So what we're going to do is we'll have Mr. Joe Rojo here talk to you about something that I'll tell you about in a moment that I think is really important. And then I'll talk about supply tomorrow on Thursday. And so we will talk about supply on Thursday. What Mr. Rojo is going to talk to you about is the Warrington College of Business Administration's study abroad programs. And if you're instantaneously tuning this out because you're saying, oh, I'm not majoring in the Warrington College, don't do that, because anybody, any student in any college can and have taken advantage of these study abroad programs. Quite frankly, I really, truly value my lecture hours. Okay, I want all the time I can get to lecture with you guys. So for me to give up even a moment of time, you have to take it that I think it's important. For me to give up a whole lecture to Joe tells you how important I think this is. The study abroad experience is something I think is very, very important. And I think that Mr. Rojo has put together a tremendous program for UF students to take advantage of. So with that, Joe, I will hand the stage over to you. And I'm going to be sitting back there because every time Joe does his presentation, I learn stuff. So I'll be sitting back there listening to what you have to say.
Well, thank you, and I'm honored to be here. It's always a pleasure because, first of all, he's an amazing professor, but he also attracts really wonderful students. Good morning. As Dr. Rush said, even if you're not a business major, don't tune out, because our office is dedicated to help students all over the university, every major. As a matter of fact, 1/3 of the students that we meet with every semester are not business majors. We have a nice audience here this morning, and I just wanted to take a little poll. How many of you are considering studying abroad? Okay, great. Is this something that you've solidified, that you've put in your academic plan? Okay, if you really want to study abroad, okay, make sure that you plan accordingly. Make sure that you begin with your academic plan and you say, okay, this semester I will be going to this country and I will be taking these classes. This semester I need to make sure that I'm not encumbered by a lease here in Gainesville, because you don't want to pay rent in 2 different places. All right? Make sure that you have a passport. Okay? Make sure that you begin knowing the rules of what it's like to travel to that country. Make sure you learn about currency, exchange rates, banking. All right? You can't get up in the morning and go, you know what? I'm going to Hong Kong today. All right? It requires some planning. And I think you will benefit. The more you plan, the more this dream will come true. If not, you know what happens? Life gets in the way. Oh man, I just don't have money this month. My car broke down. Oh my gosh, I think my girlfriend's upset at me, and you know, whatever. But life gets in the way. So you really have to plan it, keep it on target, and it'll happen. As Dr. Rush said, my name is Joe Rojo, and I have a great job. I love my job. My mission is to send University of Florida students, undergraduates, abroad for a study abroad experience. And you know why I love my job? Because 99.9% of all my customers come back and they're happy. That's really nice, isn't it? You know, there might be a little disgruntledness here and there, but overall, when the experience is over, people say, I really, really treasured that experience. I'll never forget it. So that's a lot of value for me. The other thing is that I know that Gainesville is there one? Oh, no problem. So anyway, one of the things that I all right, thank you, Anthony. Anthony, fantastic, thank you. One of the things that I tell students is that, you know, Gainesville is an amazing, wonderful town. We all love it. Home of the Gators, tremendous metropolis. Lots of things to do. All right, but you know, when you look right down to it, it just doesn't compare with London or Paris or Hong Kong or Beijing. We're not in the same boat, guys. And you say, you know what? I just don't want to miss that semester in Gainesville. And I'm going to counter with the following. You know, 4 years is a long time. It's just one semester. It's going to open your mind. You're going to network. You're going to make friends. You're going to have such an amazing experience. I think you can miss one semester. But anyway, I don't want to force feed you anything right now. We'll see if the presentation convinces you. All right, we're now the Heavener School of Business. And we have a website. If you can, write down the website. And when you have a moment on the weekend, just sit down with a cup of tea and browse through all of the international opportunities available to students. Okay? Also, become a friend on Facebook. I post informational articles all the time on our Facebook page about internationalization, how important it is becoming to companies, recruiters, so on. Study abroad is a lot of fun, but it's also something that will make you more marketable when you go look for a job. It's a very important skill that you bring to a future employer. There are some important dates there. Now, is anyone here in this room considering studying abroad this fall? No? It's too close, huh? It's still possible. June 1st is the deadline. Anyone watching at home, if you decide, oh, that Joe convinced me, I'm doing it, come see me this week, okay? We can make it happen. We have a study abroad fair. It's coming up in September. This is a university-wide study abroad fair. There's an application deadline for fall. It will be October 1st. And of course, scholarships. Okay, if you're going to study abroad, every little bit of money helps. I'm going to show you a little video that Jason Ward, one of the other study abroad advisors in the Warrington College of Business, just made this past spring. And I think it's really cute, and it reinforces a lot of what I just said. Right off the bat, not RTS, is it?
Hi, my name is Jason Ward, and I'm a study abroad advisor in the School of Business at the University of Florida. But right now, I am not in Gainesville. Come on, let me show you. You don't see this in Gainesville. How could this be Gainesville? This is not Gainesville. This can't be Gainesville. This is not University Avenue. Clearly, this is not Lake Walburn. This is not RTS. This is not Century Tower. This is in Publix, so it can't be Gainesville. This is not Gainesville, but it is the Gator Nation. UF Study Abroad programs provide you the opportunity to expand your horizons, broaden your perspective, and explore new vistas. So come on in to Bryan Hall 133 and meet with a study abroad advisor today. Remember, the University of Florida is in Gainesville, Florida, but the Gator Nation is everywhere. Go Gators! Go Global!
All right, here we go. Again, as I was telling you earlier, I love my job, and one of the nice things about my job is I get students to send me all kinds of emails and photos and postcards. But yesterday, just yesterday, I got this message from one of our students. And it says, "This semester exceeded my expectations on all levels. I made lifelong friends." Oops. Why did it do that? "I made lifelong friends and had a lot of fun. Thank you for helping me get there." I met with him, I don't know how many times, at least 7 or 8, because he was hesitant about just packing up and going to the UK. And I met with his dad. We had tons of conversations. And eventually, but he persevered. He said, "I'm going to do this. I know it's good for me. I'm going to a top business school in the UK. It's going to change my life." And as you can see, this morning I just went and got some images from Birmingham, England, and one of the business school. This is the top business school, AACSB accredited university. He's taking amazing courses. He's making friends that will last a lifetime, like he says. And he's going to come back different. He's going to come back with an edge that a lot of his peers at UF simply don't have. Do you guys in the audience, how many students at the University of Florida study abroad? Give me a percentage. 10% I hear from the audience. It's lower than that. I hear 1. It's actually a little higher. It's 3%. 3%. So even though you hear study abroad all the time, and this concept is discussed quite a lot of people actually don't do it. So that 3%, that's a very small minority. When those folks go to the career fair and they begin interviewing for positions, they stand out. Their resumes immediately have something that a lot of their peers don't have. Okay? And they all tell me, everyone tells me, "Gosh, Joe, that was one of the first items we discussed during my interview." Okay? In the College of Business, because of having advisors available, a lot of the publicity that we do, we've been able to increase the number of students studying abroad to 30%. So we're an anomaly right now in the university in the fact that many business students are doing this experience. But you know what? Globalization, you hear it every day, is real. It's not going away. And our students need to be more international in their ability to assess issues. And for critical thinking, it is just absolutely necessary. All right. So anyway, Christos made my day. And I get these things all the time. And it just, I tell you, it makes you want to get out of bed in the morning. Myths. I don't know if your friends have said this. I just can't study abroad. It's too much money. Is that true? It is? Okay, a gentleman in the audience says you have to take loans out.
Right, if you don't already have the proper income.
Okay, all right. I'm going to argue with you. How many of you are from Gainesville? A Gainesvillian out there. But you're not from Gainesville, so in fact, you're studying abroad in Gainesville. True. I mean, you could have stayed home and lived with mom and dad, saved a bunch of money on rent, right?
We'll have scholarships paid for that.
Okay. Can you take scholarships on study abroad programs? Absolutely. Your Bright Futures, Florida Prepaid, any kind of scholarship that you're earning, any scholarship that you apply for and obtain, you can use all those to pay for a study abroad experience. I'm going to talk about Chris again at Aston University. Chris spent the same amount of money that he would have spent here in Gainesville living in the UK, in Birmingham. Aston University provided him with very affordable dorms, right? He made sure that he had subleased his apartment so he didn't have to pay rent. So basically, his expense was a plane ticket. Okay? I have budgets available in all our website that will demonstrate what each of the programs cost. You could actually go to Bangkok, Thailand, right? And pay $2,000 less than what you would if you stayed in Gainesville. And you're going to live really well, by the way. I know because the students tell me how well they live and how far their money goes.
So how come 3% of people are doing it then?
Because the question is, how come only 3% of the people are doing it? Because all the myths, let's put the myths back again. I can't go to Thailand. I don't speak Thai. Now, would I make an agreement with a university that didn't teach courses in English? Nope. No matter where you go, if you go to Sweden, if you go to Thailand, if you go to Germany, all the universities that we work with teach in English. Okay? Also, 58% of Europeans speak 2 languages. And guess what the other language is? English. You don't really need to speak Dutch when you go to the Netherlands. You'll be fine. Okay? A little Dutch won't hurt, but okay. So that's another fear. It's like, oh my God, Joe, I don't speak Chinese. How could I study abroad? You can. My French is horrible. Well, it's non-existent, really. But I go to Paris and I have a ball. I love that city, and I get along just fine. As long as I say a few nice things to the French folks, they like me. All right? So, here's the other myth. It will delay my graduation. I won't be able to graduate on time. All right. Most of you come to UF with about 45 credits already completed. AP, IB, dual enrollment, an AA degree. All right? So you guys basically have Gen Ed all done. If you plan correctly, you can definitely take a semester. And I'm not talking about a summer study abroad experience. I'm talking about a semester. You can take a semester and go and take courses at a premier university without skipping a beat. All right, it just takes planning. Here's the other thing. It's too dangerous. Something horrible could happen. I guess a lot of you have seen that movie Taken, right? I hate that movie. And you know what's worse? They're making part 2. I don't know what more horror they could do to whoever they kidnap. All right, you're not going to go to Paris, that's the plot of the movie, and get kidnapped immediately. It's just not going to happen, folks. That's movie. I would venture, okay, that probably Paris is less dangerous than Gainesville. I would. I have a member of the audience who's saying it.
It's a big city compared to Gainesville.
Yeah, but they don't have guns. They just have baguettes.
But they got knives and all that. You get stabbed once in a while.
You get stabbed. No. No, that's not. I tell you, one thing that I think Americans have psychologically is this fear of the unknown. We really all think that the only place where we're going to be safe is right here in the U.S., and I'm going to tell you that that's not true. There are people living all over the world, very happy lives, without fear for their personal lives. Again, it's just a myth, and it's something that if you make this study abroad experience, you will realize that there are good people everywhere in the world, people who are going to help you, befriend you, treat you well. That has been my experience. I'm 52 years old, and I've traveled a lot of the world. I've never had something bad happen to me. Of course, I'm very careful. I don't go out at 3 o'clock in the morning drunk, not knowing where I am. I don't do that. So I'm careful. I make sure that I go to neighborhoods that I know are safe. and so on. All right. Here's the last one. This is a huge one, guys. I can't go because I don't want to miss a football season. I don't get this one. All right. Well, let's say you're a rabid football fan, all right, which many of you are. There's something called satellite TV now. And what you can do is you can watch the games in a really cool pub, you know, or a sports bar in London. How cool is that? You know why that's cool? Because you've heard the term Gator Nation. There are alumni living, working in London with usually pretty good jobs, and you're going to meet them, and you're going to be cheering for your team all the way in London. That's really cool. You don't have to miss it. You can also watch them on your computer. You can watch them on your iPod. It's a new world, folks. Yes, you're going to miss the excitement of being in Gainesville during the football days, but you're going to replace that excitement by being abroad, okay, where every day is going to be exciting. All right, any more myths? What other excuses are there that prevent students from studying abroad?
The tuition is too high.
The tuition here?
No, other universities around the world.
All right.
You're going to private universities that charge $20,000, $30,000 in tuition.
A member of the audience just brought up a great point. Tuition is high at these schools. But guess what? These are called exchange programs. And what we do is that we make an agreement that we will accept their students and we send them our students, and we don't exchange money. So you pay UF tuition. Okay? That's the model for exchanges. And the University of Florida has hundreds of exchange programs all over the world, folks. All right? You just need to do a little investigation. Here's our mission, and that kind of ties in to what the myths that I was discussing before. We want to have affordable programs available for students, okay? And we want the students to go abroad and take challenging courses that are going to broaden their knowledge, right? I think study abroad has this fame, right, of being a vacation, right? You go to Florence, you get drunk, you take a course called pastas and wine, and usually your parents go, oh man, that's not the kind of study abroad experience that I am selling you here. I'm talking about a serious academic experience where you're going to take serious classes that are going to benefit you at the end of your academic career.
Do you have calculus?
Calculus? You want to take calculus when you study abroad? Yeah? All right. Well, I'll help you find them. Make an appointment, and we'll look for a school that has calculus. It's very hard sometimes to find courses like thermodynamics or organic chemistry. Most people don't take those courses while they're studying abroad. For business, though, it's very easy to find a marketing course or a derivatives course or a finance course abroad, because guess what? Those folks abroad, those students, realize that English is the universal language of business, and they want to make sure that when they graduate, they can communicate in English, and they want to learn the terminology as well. That's why it's very easy for me to go and find a partner in another country, because business programs tend to be offered both in the local language and in English. All right. I think we've covered some of these things. I think when you came to the UF, one of the things that probably you heard is that you are going to meet an amazing network of really smart, fantastic people that might be, first of all, lifelong personal friends, but then also very instrumental in your professional development, right? Because you might be sitting next to a CEO, a future CEO. You might be sitting next to someone who creates a business that manufactures a product that you want to buy later on for your own business, okay? So within UF, you're going to make a network of friends and professionals that will be very useful. That's why we call it the Gator Nation, right? Well, when you study abroad, that circle triples, quadruples. Because now you're going to meet people in other countries that are studying the same disciplines that you are, who are just going to be joining the same businesses that you might be doing later on. So that is a very, very important aspect of studying abroad. You're also going to meet faculty that are fantastic introductions into jobs, into other graduate programs, into other kind of possibilities, okay? If you're not taking advantage of meeting the faculty here like Dr. Rush, I suggest that you do, that you go and introduce yourself to him and talk to him about what you're learning and what your future plans, because this is something that is so critical and so important in education. All right. All right, this is important, okay, because it creates a lot of confusion for the students that I meet. Like this gentleman here in the front said, some programs are very expensive, but not all of them, all right? So you need to learn the terminology. We have college-sponsored programs. These are programs that we are currently offering in London, in Rome, in Madrid, and in Paris. All terrible places. Just awful. Then we have exchange programs, and we have 33 partners around the world. But the university also has hundreds of programs available as well. And most of them are open to every major. Then there are a lot of UF-sponsored programs. And what I mean by that is there's a faculty member, and let's say they have an interest in anthropology, and they go to the Yucatan every summer for 6 weeks or so. Those are really great as well. And finally, we have what we call transfer programs. Let's say you wanted to go to India. Right now, the university portfolio doesn't have a program in India. What I would do is try and search out other providers that might be going there and offering the type of courses that you want. So don't give up. You got to do some research. These are questions that you need to ask yourself immediately. Why do I want to do this? Okay. What do I want to get out of it? How is this going to help me? What are my goals? How many of you are taking a foreign language? If you're bilingual? 2? So you're terrific. Guys, you're here. This is a great opportunity to learn a language. It's so important. It's going to make such a difference in your life. And it doesn't matter what language it is. It just opens up so many doors. Look at it like cash in your wallet. Okay? This is something that you can really sell to an employer. Okay? You can use the study abroad experience to fortify that language, to become more fluent. All right? Because you're right, you don't find enough people speaking that language here in Gainesville. So what you try to do is, if you've been taking French, how many of you took language in high school? Okay, just for the audience out there, everybody. Do you feel comfortable speaking that language? Not you, you're trilingual. Everybody else? Can you have a conversation in Spanish? It's so sad. I hear that all the time. People invest, 4 or 5 years of their lives learning a language, and they don't feel comfortable to have just a social conversation. That's not right. Well, use your time here at the University of Florida to make sure that you amp up that knowledge, and then take it for a test drive. Go and study abroad to a country where that language is spoken, and make sure that you make it so you can have a conversation. And I'm not saying that you need to write, a novel or write a dissertation in that language. No. just to be able to introduce yourself to someone in their language and to be able to talk about the weather, sports, music, something like that. It doesn't have to be serious. That person, you will gain that person's trust immediately if you can speak their language. All right, a budget. Find out how much you have available and then tailor your study abroad experience to what you have in the bank. Yeah? It doesn't have to cost a lot. You can do it. All of you can do it. I know it. Where would you like to go? That's very important. And then the last question is very, very important. How much assistance do you need? And by that I mean, if I sent you to Seoul, South Korea, okay, would you be able to order food, get from one place to the next? I mean, it's going to be hard, but are you going to fall apart? Or are you going to be able to rise up to the challenge and do it? That's something that we all have to do a little bit of self-analysis and say, can I live in a place where I will go to the supermarket or I will go to a restaurant and not know what anybody's saying? Can I do that? I can. I like it. But I understand that some people don't like that at all. It is a wall, and it's a very hard wall to penetrate. All of a sudden, you won't know what is in the newspaper, or, usually phones work differently, showers work differently, machines work differently. I kind of get a kick out of that. I also like eating stuff that I've never seen before. But not everybody's the same way. So you need to analyze yourself and say, how much assistance do I need? What do I need to be comfortable and to feel safe? All right? I don't have to say much about these cities. They're all wonderful. We have programs in these cities that offer the electronic platform courses that you might be taking for your business minor or for your social sciences or for your business major. We offer those courses abroad at these locations. Why do we do that? Ease of planning. Basically, you can say, all right, I need to take marketing and business law, and I want to do it in spring 2013, and I want to do it in Madrid. And you know that those classes are going to be available. And you know that Dr. Lutz is going to be teaching it, Dr. Emerson is going to be teaching it, and you know the format already because you've taken Dr. Rush's class. Okay? So that takes a little bit of the edge rather than going and taking all of your classes at a foreign institution that might run a little differently. All right, there we go. All right, one of the neat things about these programs is that if you're out of state, is anyone here from out of state? Tuition is higher if you're out of state, but all these programs offer the same rate whether you're out of state or Florida resident. Also, with the London, Madrid, Rome, and Paris programs, we accept students from other institutions. So if you have a friend who is attending UCF or USF, they can come on this program as well. Yeah? Oh God, look at that list of countries. Isn't that amazing? Now, I have never sent a gator to Finland. Before I retire, that has to happen. Okay? We send graduate students, but it's cold in Finland, isn't it? Gators don't like the snow. But you know what? Try it. It's not like I'm going to leave you in Helsinki there for the rest of your life. You're coming back. You can take a plane back. And maybe you like it. You don't know. Okay? Maybe you, and I say this all the time, what if you get a job in Minneapolis? What if it's a really good job? Are you going to say, no, it's too cold there? It might be good to take it. So, go to Helsinki for a semester and try it out. Do some winter sports. Oh, look at those faces. All right, we have 3 dedicated study abroad advisors ready to help you. Okay? And we really like students. That's why we decided to do this career. If you guys got on my nerves, I would look for another job. But you don't. I actually love meeting you and planning with you. It's something that I look forward to. And Lucy is the same, and Jason's the same. Lucy right now is in China, okay, learning about the country, traveling. I think she was in Shanghai the other day. We love travel. I think all three of us would go anywhere if we had the opportunity. And we just want to share with you what we've seen of the world, because it is exciting. All right, so that brings me to the end of the presentation. Are there any questions? All right, gentlemen.
In the preview of your speech, you mentioned that one could bring a skill from studying abroad. What skill exactly are you talking about? Networking skill?
Okay, the gentleman here asked, what skills would I learn from a study abroad experience?
Except for language and networking.
Networking, languages are two big ones. Okay, now flexibility is huge. Being able to deal with non-planned situations, because that's part of life, isn't it? When you travel, usually something will go wrong. The other thing is, many of these institutions offer courses that are simply not available at the University of Florida. Okay, offers in disciplines like finance, marketing, management that students at UF are not going to be able to take. So professionally, you are augmenting your education by getting these new topics, okay, into your resume. The other thing is just worldview. If you've been able to see what politics, for example, how is health reform going to happen in the United States if we're not familiar with what other countries do? And there's nothing like experiencing healthcare somewhere else. It just, all of a sudden you go, wait, we don't do that. Also, as business people, right, it's good to see how other folks do things. What products are they using? Because maybe that product might be a hit here in the United States as well. I think one of the things that I like to mention is, for example, in produce, certain fruits, vegetables, we've never seen in our lives, and they're consumed in other parts of the world, and they can be introduced here. So you get business ideas by studying abroad as well. And I think, again, one of the biggest ones, it's fun. Okay. Let's say you get a job when you graduate and you leave UF, and your boss comes up to you and says, I don't know what your name is. Costa. They say, Costa, I need you to go to Buenos Aires tomorrow. I want you to talk to our client there, and I want you to seal a deal. Okay? Well, Costa's been around the world. He knows what he has to do. Okay? He's not going to freak out about this. He's a man of the world, all right? And I think that's something that you want to develop as a college student. Okay? You had
where is your office? Are you renting an apartment or is it?
The question is, where is my office? And I'm located in this building, Bryan Hall. I am in room 133, so it's like 12 steps away from this lecture hall where we're meeting today. And there will be a student assistant or an employee there who will say, when do you want to meet Joe, Lucy, or Jason? And they'll make an appointment for you. Please do so, even if you're just contemplating, even if you want to expand what was said in today's lecture. Any other questions? All right. For you here and for those of you watching at home, please consider this. Take this seriously. I don't think you will regret it. All right? Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rush, again, for letting me come to his class. And thank you for listening.